So this is a different way to have a blog, an audio blog. I'm going to take us back to last weekend, Saturday, the 4th of February. We had gales and storm conditions over 3 days last weekend. And I'm just going to talk about one good decision that I made in the midst of all of them, and also one bad decision. The good decision was that I had a drogue with me on board. A drogue runs from the stern of the boat, and it enables me to keep the stern of the boat to the weather and to seas. And in the midst of 50 and 60 knot winds last weekend, when I sensed the boat didn't have enough control, I didn't have enough control of the boat going down the face of waves. I saw 15 knots on my boat speed indicator. I decided I would deploy the drogue. Now, most people never have deployed a drogue in their life. I've done it once in very calm conditions, Port Phillip Bay. These weren't calm. Seas were 10 to 12 metres. And at the decision point of deploying the drogue, winds were 40, 45 knots. The forecasts were for winds to build to 50 and 60 knots. So I deployed the drogue, and I got some video of it, which I'll blog when I eventually get to land. And it deployed wonderfully. Lots of potential to get things caught up in this thing, but it streamed out the back. So that was a good decision, and that drogue stayed out the stern of the boat for the next 4 days through those gale and storm conditions, and enabled me actually to make progress east, but with control. So that was a good decision. The bad decision was, in deploying the drogue, I left my wind vane operating. Now, for those that don't know what the wind vane is, it's a self-steering system. It has a big paddle in the water, which in one sense helps steer the boat. It's a great, it's almost like an architectural piece of industrial engineering. It's stainless steel, the whole thing's quite large. And when I deployed the drogue, which is attached to the boat with a bridle from each of the stern quarters, I noticed that the wind vane paddle in the water looked awfully close to this bridle when the bridle slackened off as the drogue, if you like, was moving backwards and forwards 300 foot back from the boat. And the bridle, which would, when it's taut, it gives plenty of room from the wind vane paddle. But when the bridle slackened, I could see, I hope this isn't going to get caught on the vane. And then in between that thought and I think how I might actually raise the paddle, it got caught. And it ended up bending not the paddle in the water, but the structure of the vane as it's attached to the boat. So, bad decision. Certainly not a decision I'll make next time. Not raising that wind vane before I put the drogue in the water. I should have just thought it through. I didn't really need it for steering. The drogue itself basically does that. So lesson next time, after I get this wind vane repaired, get that paddle out of the water before deploying the drogue. Anyway, it's not the end of the world. Whilst the wind vane's great for steering and assisting in steering, from most quarters of the wind, I can steer the boat with just the sails. And as I'm dictating this right now, I'm going due east with the wind directly behind me and the boat self-steering because of the way I've got the sails set up. There's a couple of directions I would have troubles with the boat self-steering, but for most quarters where the wind will blow, I'll be able to self-steer just using the sails until I get to a port, which I think is probably going to be Stanley in the Falklands, to have a metal fabricator create a new support structure for my wind vane. Anyway, all's well. Thanks for listening.